is no value to their intelligence. They're not helping people. And in many cases, because they're secluded in their own little IQ world, they come to all the wrong conclusions. All of the intelligence of the world, the smartest people on the planet, have through generations and centuries come to the wrong conclusions. And you can see it. Back when they figured out that the earth was being held up by 3 elephants, you know, back in Chinese science, the original days of the Ming Dynasty and the science of the globe, was that there was this thing that we were floating because they could see things moving in space. And they knew for sure, the great science minds knew for sure that we were being held up by 3 elephants. And so the young man in the audience says, well, what's holding up the elephants? And so they go away and conspire with their great IQs. And they come back and say, silly boy, 4 tortoises. And so they have to say, silly boy, they have to add that in there because they don't want you to ask publicly what's holding up the 4 tortoises. That is the story in every single arena of life right now. In science, in religion, in politics, there is an external story that you're not allowed to question because you have to take one side or the other. Both of them are the wrong side. Take one side or the other in either one of the arenas, and you're silly if you ask the 3rd question. They make sure that you're outside the machine. You're outside the system. Don't ask any questions outside. And so IQ by itself leads you to destruction. Or your boss is frustrated. You pause and you take a moment, you take your hands off your keyboard and put your phone down and look at him square in the face and say, how can I help you? What can I do to make your life better? And then when they say it, they're already convinced that you didn't hear them because you didn't hear them yesterday. Ask them a question that makes them sure that you heard them. Because listening is not on your side. Listening is not your ability to listen. Because you could be really, really smart and understand perfectly what they just said. The ability of listening is to convince them that you heard them. There's the ultimate power of listening. As a teenager doesn't need to know how smart you are and that you actually understood the vernacular that they communicated. They need to know that you heard their heart, the words that they're not saying, their goals, their agendas, their frustrations. Now, yes, it does take longer. That conversation will take longer to get to, but it's going to save you years of struggle, pain, and conversation later. If you just stop what you're doing and in every single person, pause and listen, hear their story. The biggest problem we have is when someone